today, before creating this design, I am building the CSS codes related to the codes we use. Go to the style.css page on the left side panel, body, open curly brackets from the first line. After entering between the curly brackets, I come to the second line. Now, let's type the CSS codes needed to change the font of this body part. It is typed as font-family::Arial semicolon. Now I change the margin by typing margin:0 semicolon in the third line. Come to the fourth line and change the background color. From the sixth line, I enter the codes needed to add style to the paragraph. From the seventh line, I change the size of the letters. Now type TD in the ninth line and open curly brackets. In this section, I write the styles related to the cells of the table. From the 10th line, I give the code needed to change the width of the cells as width:50% semicolon. From the 11th line, I give the code as vertical-align::top semicolon. Now I use the necessary styles for the footer applied to the end of the page from the 13th line. In this section, we enter the color of the background, the color of the letters, the padding value, and the alignment of the letters in this way. Now I make the necessary changes to the form I want to enter from the 19th line. Here also the padding value is given as 10 pixels. The margin is set to 5 pixels on all four sides. Now the thickness and the color of the form border is made in this way. I give the results of this form as 60%. In this way, the shadow is made with the size of the sides so that the grey shadow comes around from the form. You can see that here I have typed as RBGA. When we work with a computer, the colors we see are called RGB. It means that any color is made of red, green and blue. But RBGA means red, green, blue and alpha. Here, alpha is called opacity or transparency. I have included the values related to these. Now we have finished making styles of the form. Now, let's write the styles related to the H1 titles applied to the web page in the 26th line. Now in the 27th line, color:0076680 semicolon is used to change the color of the text of the title. I have finished changing the parts related to the H1 tag. Now I open another TD tag from the 29th line. TD put curly brackets. We have created a TD before too. Here I open square brackets next to the word TD and row span equals double quotation 2 between those two brackets. Now after applying curly brackets, it is given as text-align::center semicolon in the next line. These square brackets mean that these styles are applied only to the tags that are similar to the attribute inside this bracket. Here, row span equal to 2, which means cells formed by connecting two rows of the table. Then, according to this element, the letters in the cells that are connected to two rows will be aligned in the center of those two cells. Let's add more styles now. Now in the 32nd line, I write the style I want to use a picture like this. Now look at this section. It says that the width of all images that have a value of banner as the alternative attribute should be 100%. In the 35th line, I set the style codes for the list items in this way. Here, if the values 1, 3, 5, 7 are given to the value attribute of the li tag, this means that the item should be displayed in the given color. Now I select the section from the 35th line to the 37th line, copy it and paste it in the 38th line. Instead of the numbers given in the values here, I use the numbers I want in this way. I don't need the square brackets at the end, so I backspace it. Now the existing color code is changed to #BE1006. This section means that if values 2, 4, 6 are given to the value attribute, then those items should be colored. Now in the 41st line, I will write the style that I want to use for a picture in this way. Now look at this part. It says the width of every picture that has been given a value of image of craft maker for alternative attribute should be 70%. In the 44th line, the parts related to the text box are written. Here, if the input type is text, email or number, then the padding is 5 pixels on all 4 sides of the text box without a border, and make the margin as 5 pixels and change the thickness and the color of the lower part of the border, width and the background color like this. Now let's insert a button. Button, open square brackets from the 52nd line, type equal double quotation, submit and enter between those brackets. Now put curly brackets, type as background :007680 semicolon between those in the 53rd line and go to the 54th line. Now it is given as padding :5px 10px semicolon in this line. The corresponding code is given to change the color of the letters in the 55th line. Now type as :non-semicolon in the 56th line. Regarding this code, this formatting will be applied to the button where the button type is submitted. Well, in this way, styles are also written for the buttons that reset the type. For that, I copied the codes from 52 to 57 and paste it in the 58th line. Now let's change the necessary parts. Instead of submit in the type, I use reset. I changed the background color as #BE1006. Now we have finished the code for creating the CSS code.